Welcome to the Cozy Noah Vibes. I'm your host, Noah. Thank you for choosing to join us. Before we begin, find a comfortable position and set aside all tasks. Let's enter a state of calm together. First, let's take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, then exhale gently. Repeat a few times to deepen and regulate your breath. Now, use your senses to feel every part of your body from head to toe. Notice any tension or discomfort. Simply acknowledge their presence. Don't try to change them. As you continue to breathe deeply, let's gradually release the tension in your body, starting from the head and moving downward, gently releasing each muscle. Feel the comforting lightness, like an invisible comforting hand, gently embracing you. Shift your focus to your thoughts. Don't try to eliminate them. Just let them drift by quietly, like clouds drifting in the sky. You are merely an observer, unaffected by these thoughts. Let's take another deep breath, absorbing the peaceful and serene energy. In this moment, you are safe and tranquil. Anything can wait until tomorrow. Thank you for participating in tonight's scientific relaxation moment. May you have a peaceful night. Now, as you drift off to sleep, let's listen to a story. Legend has it that when Hera was born, she was immediately swallowed by her father, Cronus. Later, Cronus was tricked by Menace and Zeus into rejoining Hera during the war against the Titans. We had entrusted Hera to be raised by Gulchinus and Tethys. Alternatively, it's said that Hera was nurtured by Themis in Arcadia, but by the seasonal goddesses of Argentia. Some accounts claim that Hera was not swallowed by her father Cronus at birth. Instead, she was left under the care of her mother Rhea to protect her brother Zeus from their father's harm. Though this version is rarely mentioned, Hera is the embodiment of natural forces, because Zeus promised to share his power and honor with her when he proposed marriage. Hera is granted authority as Zeus's wife. Whenever Hera travels, thunder and lightning accompany her. She has the ability to gather and disperse clouds and summon storms. Her symbols are the scepter and crown, often depicted in battle attire. She wears a crown adorned with leaves and bay veils symbolizing sovereignty. The married women. She is attended by her handmaidens Gyrus, goddess of the rainbow, the Horae, goddesses of the seasons, and the chariots and Chrysothea, goddesses of grace and socializing. She is greatly respected by the gods, and Zeus himself values her counsel, often discussing matters with her. However, they frequently engage in fierce arguments, with Hera often challenging Zeus during divine assemblies. Zeus, in turn, becomes angry, signified by thunder in the sky, threatening to punish Hera if she opposes him further. Hera is then forced to remain silent, suppressing her anger. There are various myths surrounding Zeus's courtship of Hera. One of the most famous stories recounts how Zeus courted Hera while she lived in seclusion on Mount Selene. Despite Zeus's numerous affairs, he couldn't forget his sister Hera. Once, during a heavy rainstorm, Zeus transformed into a helpless bird and sought shelter in Hera's arms, where he received her infinite compassion. When the rain ceased and the sun rose, Zeus revealed his true form and promised to marry her. Eventually, they united, and Hera bore Zeus children, Mars, Boethius, Hebe, and Hephaestus. After living together for 300 years, Zeus finally publicly acknowledged Hera as his wife and queen, celebrating their union with a grand divine wedding attended by gods from all realms. Gaia, the Earth Mother, gifted Hera a golden apple tree, which she planted in the garden of the Hesperids in the far west, guarded by the dragon Lotte and the Hesperide sisters. Among Zeus's many wives and lovers, only Hera enjoys such honor. Hera borrowed Aphrodite's golden girdle to enhance her own allure and retain Zeus's affection. After their marriage, Zeus puffed and left Mount Olympus without Hera's knowledge to meet with nymphs. When Hera discovered this, feeling abandoned, she decided to leave Mount Olympus forever. Learning of her decision, Zeus pondered how to reconcile with her. He spread rumors of his intention to remarry a bright-eyed maiden, but the bride turned out to be a wooden puppet dressed in finery. Hera, outraged by Zeus's unfaithfulness, confronted the puppet bride and tore apart her splendid garments. When she unveiled the bride's veil, she was astonished to find it was merely a puppet. Hera burst into laughter and forgave Zeus, returning with him to Mount Olympus. Hera highly values her marriage and is a staunch defender of monogamy. She does not tolerate any infidelity from her husband. However, Hera herself remains faithful and has never strayed. Once, Bedtime became infatuated with Hera, whispering lewd words to her in private. Instead of succumbing, Hera informed Zeus of Vixion's advances. Zeus then transformed a cloud into Hera's likeness to test her honesty. Ixion, mistaking the cloud for Hera, attempted to assault her, prompting Zeus to banish him to Tartarus for his insolence. Hera's jealousy and quarrels often bring great disasters to both gods and mortals. For instance, to secure victory against the giants, Zeus fathered Heracles to Reltman. Enraged, Hera repeatedly attempted to kill Heracles. When Zeus's mother Reltman bore Heracles, Hera, upon learning of it, commanded Boethius, the goddess of childbirth, to delay the birth. However, Alcman, fearing Hera's wrath, abandoned the infant in a field, hoping to conceal him from Hera. Coincidentally, Hera and Athena passed by and found the child. Moved by his innocence, Athena persuaded Hera to breastfeed him, but when Heracles bit her nipple, causing her pain, Hera flung him to the ground. Miraculously, he emerged unscathed due to his divine heritage. Hera's relentless pursuit continued as Heracles grew older, eventually driving him mad, then leading him to kill his own wife and children. After Heracles' death, Hera reconciled with him in the heavens, offering her daughter Hebas's bride. Claimed Lamia of Libya possessed extraordinary beauty and became Zeus's lover. Out of jealousy, Hera slaughtered Lamia's children and forced her to become a half-woman, half-serpent monster, stripping her of the ability to sleep. Callisto was also a nymph who bore a child after being forcibly seduced by Zeus. Later, Hera, consumed by rage, discovered this and imposed all the blame on the innocent maiden. So Hera turned Callisto into a large black bear, then incited the unaware Artemis to hunt and kill her. Later, Zeus brought Callisto to the heavens, making her the constellation Ursa Major. Hera, enraged to see her rival cornered in such a way, immediately sought the counsel of the elders, who were the Goshen goddess Thetis and the Veda god Oceanus, who had raised Hera. Hera tearfully expressed her grievances and asked them to punish Callisto by forbidding her from entering the seas. The old sea god naturally agreed to Hera's request, ensuring that the constellation Ursa Major could only circle in the sky and never descend into the sea like the other stars. Hera, curious at her husband's infidelity, conspired with Athena. Then the oppressed decided to overthrow Zeus' rule. They seized the opportunity while Zeus slept, binding him tightly with ropes made of rawhide, rendering him unable to move. Zeus threatened to execute them immediately, but they had already hidden Zeus's thunderbolt where he couldn't reach it, so his threats were met with mocking laughter as they celebrated their impending victory. They wondered who would inherit Zeus's throne. They suspected and envied each other, engaging in heated debates over the candidates for the throne. Their quarrels escalated, then they were on the verge of physical combat. Eventually, due to the intervention of the ocean goddess Thetis, their plot ended in failure. Because Hera led this rebellion, Zeus shackled her wrists with golden bracelets and suspended her in the air. Despite the other gods, anger, none dared to rescue Hera, even though she cried in despair, feeling exceptionally miserable. Later, Zeus released Hera to appease the anger of the gods and declared her his lawful wife, making the gods swear never to rebel against him again. Hera was a goddess skilled in magic. There was a country named Aegean, which happened to share the same name as Zeus's lover. The river goddess Aegean. This ignited Hera's fury, so she cast a terrible curse on this country, bringing various natural disasters and suffocating plagues. The entire country was filled with the stench of death, resembling a hell on earth. Only through such actions could her anger be appeased. In Ovid's Metamorphoses, Antigone was a beautiful mortal woman with lovely golden curls that everyone admired. She wanted to rival the Queen of Heaven, Hera, which ultimately led to her punishment by Hera. Hera cast a spell, turning Antigone's hair into riding serpents coiling around her scalp, gnawing at her flesh, causing shivers of horror. Hera's cruel punishment was too much even for Zeus to bear, so he transformed Antigone into a crane. Similarly, Orion's first wife, Sad, boasted of her beauty comparable to Hera's, and as a result, Hera cast her into the depths of Tartarus. When Alcmene was about to give birth to Heracles, Hera tried every means to hinder and delay Heracles' birth, ordering her daughter, Dilithiabe, the goddess of childbirth, not to assist Alcmene. So Hera descended to the mortal realm to cast a spell, raising her hands high. As long as her hands remained still, Heracles could not be born. Suddenly, Alcmene's handmaiden Guldenthus burst into the room, reporting to Hera that Alcmene had given birth. Hera, surprised, slapped her hand. Then Heracles was born smoothly. Hera realized she had been deceived and, to punish Guldenthus, turned her into a lizard, some versions a weasel. One day, Hera discovered that her husband Zeus was missing and couldn't find him anywhere. Hera suspected that Zeus must have gone to meet some nymph secretly, so Hera descended to search for Zeus. Then a nymph named Deco happened to be at the scene and used her lengthy speech to distract Hera. Allowing Zeus and the nymphs to escape. Hera realized she had been deceived and punished Echo by depriving her of the ability to speak independently. She could only echo others' words, unable to express her own thoughts. There was a dispute between Hera and Zeus about which gender experienced more pleasure in sexual intercourse. Zeus insisted that women derived more pleasure, while Hera argued the opposite, citing it as the reason Zeus endured infidelity. Finally, they consulted Tiresias because he had experienced life as both a man and a woman and had been married during his 7 years as a woman, allowing him to provide insight based on personal experience. Tiresias said that if pleasure were divided into 10 parts, women would have 9 parts, while men could only experience 1 part. Hearing this, Hera became furious and blinded him. In heroic mythology, King Peleus of Euboea was Hera's mortal enemy. Hera hated Peleus because he never sacrificed to her, or showed her the respect she deserved. Although the cruel stepmother Hera sought refuge in Hera's temple, Hera Peleus broke into the temple and unjustly told Hera. Therefore, Hera sought cruel revenge for these insults, but her revenge directly affected the fate of Jason and Medea. In most of her retaliatory actions, Hera sent monsters to assassinate her targets. The son of the sea god Poseidon, Orion, claimed to be the greatest hero on Olympus, surpassing everyone in prowess. So Hera remembered Hephaestus, who only knew how to pour wine for the gods, but decided to teach Orion a lesson without consulting her husband Zeus. Hera secretly sent a scorpion to assassinate Orion. Ultimately, the scorpion did not disappoint Hera. As a reward, Hera elevated the scorpion to the heavens, creating the constellation Scorpius. One of Heracles' 12 labors was to slay the malicious Hydra, and because Hera had raised it, she summoned a giant crab to assist the Hydra in killing Heracles. However, the crab failed. The Heracles eventually decapitated the Hydra. Furious, Hera felt somewhat sorry for the crab's selfless sacrifice. To honor the crab's loyalty, Hera placed it in the heavens, becoming the constellation Cancer. In Homer's epic Iliad, Hera is depicted as the Queen of Heaven, riding a chariot down to earth with Athena under the guidance of the goddesses of the seasons, heading straight for the battlefield. Hera's character is marked by extreme pride and capriciousness. In the Golden Apple incident, Trojan Prince Paris, for choosing Aphrodite as the fairest goddess, earned Hera's hatred, indirectly leading to the Trojan War. During the war, Hera allied with Athena, standing on the side of the Greeks to help resist the Trojan army. Unexpectedly, Hera displayed extraordinary combat prowess in battle. Aphrodite's lover and Hera's son, the war god Ares, stood with the Trojans. Hera and Athena joined forces to humiliate him, disarming him and making him cry for mercy. To hinder the Trojan army from victory, provoking disputes among the gods. In the divine confrontation, Hera and Artemis, who supported the Trojan army, clashed fiercely. Hera tightly gripped Artemis' wrists with her left hand and slapped her with her right hand. Hera's slap was so powerful that Artemis had spun. Her eyes rolled back, then she fell unconscious. After the war, Hera hounded Helen and Paris, the primary cause of the war. She also urged the Achaeans to capture the city of Troy. When Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Achaeans, quarreled with Agamemnon, Hera seduced Zeus to promise her that if Achilles died in battle, she would compensate Achilles for his loss. Under Hera's manipulation, Zeus had a false dream to Agamemnon, persuading him to wage war on the Trojans. As a result, Achilles was forced to join the battle. During the Trojan War, Hera repeatedly intervened, tried to overthrow Zeus's rule and incite discord among the gods. But Hera's schemes ultimately failed. Then she had to endure Zeus's wrath and humiliation. In addition, Hera once bore a grudge against Priam, the king of Troy. She sent a ferocious storm to disrupt the festivities celebrating the marriage of Priam's parents, but it was fruitless. So Hera seized the opportunity to provoke Zeus's anger. Hoping to draw him to her, Hera secretly descended to the mortal realm, disrupting the wedding ceremony. In the confusion, Priam's mother was kidnapped by a group of bandits. Priam's father, full of anger and despair, God swore that he would spare no effort to save his beloved wife. He embarked on a perilous journey, dreading all sorts of dangers. Zeus took pity on him and sent his divine messenger, Hermes, to guide him on his journey. With the help of Zeus, Priam's father finally found his beloved wife and returned home safely. After learning of Priam's heroic deeds, Zeus was extremely pleased and awarded him a portion of his own kingdom, ensuring that Priam would always enjoy the favor of the gods. In summary, Hera, the queen of the gods, possesses great power and authority. However, her character is marked by extreme pride, capriciousness, and vengeance. Throughout mythology, Hera's actions are often driven by jealousy and spite, leading her to interfere in mortal affairs and clash with both humans and other gods. Despite her divine status, Hera is not immune to the consequences of her actions, facing humiliation and setbacks as a result of her relentless pursuit of revenge. Now, as we conclude our time together, may the serenity of this moment linger with you through the night. Remember, you hold the power to create your own dreams, filled with wonder and possibility. Rest deeply. Tomorrow holds endless opportunities for growth and joy. Until we meet again, sleep well and embrace the beauty of your own imagination. Good night and sweet dreams.